This is the Amp Hour Podcast. Released October 24th, 2021. Episode 563. Grumpy Collaboration.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
What's up, nerd?
I've moved on from our past episode about assembly during an episode. Yeah, now I'm burning a Raspberry Pi compute module image as we record. It's been giving me some hassle, so we'll see if it goes.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Bootloaders and such.
Right. Don't you just stick an SD card straight up its clacker? What's the
you would do that? Yes, you'd for a normal Raspberry Pi you would. This is the compute module, so it actually plugs down onto the board, and there's two versions of it. There is the CM4, the compute module 4 Lite, and that actually has no solid state on board, and so then you actually have to have an external.
External, even
SD
external
card.
SD card. Wow,
that's right. Yeah, so then you can basically run the lines out from these headers. You know, it's like two parallel high density headers, basically 50 mil spacing, or 50 thou spacing. You know, I've routed that, but then I also have I actually got the version that has Wi-Fi, and basically I'll just get whatever's available at this point. And so the one I have has like 32 gigs of flash on board, and so you have to basically plug in USB. There's a switch you have to hold low, and then there's a script on your computer that'll put it into bootloader mode, and then now it's like mass storage. So
yeah, but like, what's the point of a board like that? I guess it's saving 10 cents for the SD card connector. What's it? Because like
no, it's SD cards are just not reliable enough. You know, there's like the industrial ones.
Okay, yep.
Those are better, but this is just for just industrial environments.
Yeah, but you got to have the memory external to the board. So like.
Oh no. So the flash memory is on the CM4, and so the quote unquote light version, they just don't populate it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So, I think we're going to see these in a lot of things, honestly.
Yeah, but what's it for then? If it's external memory, size, form factor, cost, but you've got to put the memory external somewhere.
I'm a little confused. Sorry. So there's the two versions. One is an SD card that's off the plug-in board.
Yep.
And the other one is flash memory that's on the plug-in board.
Oh, that's on the. Okay, right. So it does.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So the one with the SD card does not contain the
that's
flash memory built into the.
That's right.
Into the processor.
So
got it.
So the net effect of that is it's just a little bit more hassle to program it. So you either got to program it in situ using a USB cable, which is USB 2.0, kind of slow for a 32 gig image. Well, 8 gig
but it's
image
fine. You do it once. I mean, it'd be annoying if you were changing, environments all the time. But
no, the tough thing is if you think about it's about 10 minutes per board at like the speeds I'm working at.
Yeah.
So if you think about that if you're actually doing production with this sort of thing, and that's what they're targeting.
Yeah.
And that's, yes, true. Whether or not people actually do that, that's fine. For doing production, that's pretty significant.
Oh,
right?
Sure. Well, people don't think, what would you use Raspberry Pi for production for? Well, the new compute modules, they come on reels. We've had this on the show before. You can physically buy the complete module on like a 2-inch wide reel. So you put it in your pick and place machine. It's
I've seen that for the Pico. I haven't seen that. Does they do that for the CM4 as well?
Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, it's the Pico I'm thinking about.
Pico
okay.
for sure, because that's the one that has castellated edges.
Yes.
CM4 I've only seen in boxes, but I could see them doing that sort of thing. The only thing is it's kind of like it's like got a pretty hard press fit into these connectors, and good luck finding those connectors.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I luckily bought a lot the last time.
Are they just Samtech jobbies, or what are they? What's the standard?
They're not Samtech, but they're the same kind of like high density.
Yeah. But they're not like a big name brand standard.
No, they are. I just don't remember.
Oh,
what
right.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I can look it up. I want to say Molex, but usually I don't think like super high density for Molex. Yeah, so I'll look it up. Maybe it's Panasonic even. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, CM4. I mentioned a little bit on the board on the show here before. So continuing on and programming them, but I've been having this issue where the flash keeps failing on validation, and that's the
on validation. So it programs and then it does a validation cycle, a check-in pass, and it fails.
Yeah, that's another 8 minutes actually. So 18 minutes per
18
run.
minutes per board.
Yeah.
Wow,
it could be my setup, honestly. It could be my setup, but
that's really... Is there a faster way to parallel program it, or do you have to do it via like the USB 2 or whatever?
I don't know. I'm sure you could probably make a little programmer maybe, and maybe USB 2 if you, I don't know, maybe my default on my computer is slow, whatever. So I'm sure there's some way you could speed it up.
Okay.
But I'm not currently there.
Yeah, that's killer. But why? It's because this uses, for those who don't, oh God, I'm not going to be able to remember the name. It uses the EMMC flash memory, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, which is different.
EMMC usually, yeah.
EMMC, yeah, flash memory. No, I can't remember what the exact details of it are, but it's like the cheap-ass version of regular flash memory. It's like, I'm not sure in what way it's different.
I didn't think so, but
right. Okay. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm basically programming it like an SD card, and it just failed. So yeah, try again later. More exciting updates from the lab of Chris.
Oh no, well, here it is, straight from How to Geek. This is the first Google result. EMMC is the kind of flash storage you'll find in cheap tablets and laptops. It's slower and cheaper than traditional SSD.
Oh, interesting.
So it can't compete with regular solid state drives. It's NAND and eMMC, all you need to know. They are different. What's the difference? Here we go. Windows Central will tell us what the difference is. However, the superior format, no, okay. It's probably just the surrounding circuitry that makes it better. I'm not sure if it's the actual physical flash structure itself that differs. Anyway, given that this just came up, we have no idea what we're talking about. So, I just knew that I knew that there was a difference. That's all. So maybe your issues, but that's insane that it could program and then you're not used to modern flash failing, right? You write your file to your SD card and you don't bother doing a verification check.
I think this is my setup, honestly. Yeah, I don't think it's
it's not just a dodgy cable, is it? Dodgy USB, but then it'd give you an error. I thought when it's copying, surely it'd be doing some sort of CRC when it's copying, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or
it checks it. I think the whole image after the fact. So.
After the fact, okay. So they're wow.
I just sent through the link to the unobtainium connector that you can check out if you'd like. It's a Hirose, a high density Hirose 100 position.
All right.
So you need two of those. Basically, it's a 50 pin per side, 50 mil pitch. 0.4 millimeter pitch.
Well, high rose. I'm not going to say high rosy. I'm going to say high rose. Yeah, they're a big manufacturer, so it's not like it's a they've just chosen some.
It's Hirose. That's
I'm sure
Japanese,
that's how it's pronounced.
You pronounce each syllable. So.
Yeah, but I'm going to call it high rose.
Dave, I took three semesters of Japanese in college that I completely forgot.
Yeah, I know. So. I don't care. Yeah. Just like I don't care about Bodhi plot. It's Bode plot.
Yeah, that's true.
Screw you.
I guess I can't say much here. It's it's KeyCAD as well. You know?
Yeah, right. Even though it's KeyCAD. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, on the Raspberry Pi side of things, so they just launched a new site as well. I mean, we've been seeing them move more and more into the commercial side of things over time.
Yes, they did a .com. It used to be
.org.
They
now have a .com. That's right.
I didn't understand the reason for that. They wanted. I know they didn't explain a page, but I just sort of went, what?
Yeah, I think it's just representing the fact that there is more commercial interest, basically. Targeting.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the .org is also sticking around for the education side of things, right? So they actually have it as a charity thing, and then they're probably maybe tax. I don't know what that side of things are, but
right. Okay.
But, they legitimate, we had those guys on the show talking about the Pico and their future plans, and as much as they were able to talk about it, which is a great episode if people haven't heard it. We had Eben on the show many years ago, and, they're just moving more in this direction, and, bully for them. I think it's great. I think this kind of thing is making Linux computing more accessible, and that's a good thing.
I will have to link down below it's almost a Raspberry Pi hate thread on the EEV blog forum. Let's just say that there are some people who are not happy with the way Raspberry Pi are doing things. And there's
the internet, Dave.
Yeah, I won't go into it. Like, I don't know the substance behind their complaints and stuff like that. But anyway, I'll link it in down below. It's not all roses in the Raspberry Pi fandom.
No doubt.
Right. They've got, this is on the .com page, they've got an Apple-like Raspberry Pi store. I'm sorry, but this is pure wankery. This is just marketing wankery. No, I don't like it.
The store is like very fancy. I just feel like
it's very fancy. It's very
hire a modern web design firm. You're not going to get like a Mauser or DigiKey these days.
No, I'm talking about a physical store.
Oh, I don't actually see that.
Go to raspberrypi.com and then scroll down, and you'll see a physical store.
That is always an interesting shift to me. I see what you're talking about.
I presume it's in Cambridge, because they say Cambridge store, and they've got, nah, as we say here in Australia.
Yeah. I just can't imagine being like, what we should do in 2021? Brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar store. Yeah, that's
during COVID.
The ticket, laddie.
Yeah, right. That's we're really gonna ramp it up in Cambridge, UK.
Right.
Like, I'm sure it's very nice, and I just always feel like when it's not an app, like Apple just lauded for their their store, and that's whatever, Apple's Apple.
Right.
But when other people are doing it, especially on like single scale.
Yeah, but Apple is the experience, right?
Sure, exactly.
Apple's the pure fanboy wankery experience. That's why they have the stores. Well, come on, Raspberry Pi.
And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying is, like, when it's this sort of thing, it's like we want to showcase it. We want to have it as a thing. It's like a tourist destination at that point,
Right. Okay. Well,
and I think that's great, but it's like it's a pet project. I don't expect it to see
no, it's
a
not
Raspberry
a practical
Pi store in every city.
They're not selling them. They're not making their $2 profit on each board or something, and they're making a killing at their store. No, it's a total loss leader. Like, it's a total loss.
It's a marketing exercise.
It's a marketing.
Great.
Yeah,
I think it's great. I have no hatred for this.
I just groan when I saw that.
Dave, you strike me as a shopper. I'm surprised you don't enjoy a good little retail therapy.
I do enjoy the retail experience, but not for my Raspberry Pis. No,
you're more of a Fry's. Like abandoned Fry's going under.
I want to get my Raspberry Pis from a dingy warehouse. That's where I want to get them from.
Got it. Yeah,
I don't want this glitzy, bright light Apple experience. No, it's wrong.
Well, you don't have to go there. You don't have to fly.
Okay, I'm not flying to Cambridge. The next time I'm in Cambridge, I'm going to boycott the Raspberry Pi store.
Good. Yeah. Instead, you can just go see historical campuses and
right.
Such.
Okay. Like 500-year-old campuses. And shit that's older than all of Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
Modern Australia.
Sure.
Anyway, there you go.
Yeah. Well, you and Mehdi were talking about kit businesses and buying from kit stores. I was just listening this morning.
Oh, yes, right.
I was enjoying that listen. It was always fun to listen to Mehdi. Yep. From Electro Boom, if people haven't listened.
Electro Boom. If you want a timestamp, it's towards the end, probably like an hour into it or something. And it's
not a timestamp, just so we're clear.
No,
that is not how you
but it's towards the end of the video. Yeah, we talk about the kit business.
If you want a GPS location, it's up the block, about 3-4 blocks, and take a right.
I should look them up on Google Maps. I'm sure I could find all the, this, Silicon Alley, as we used to call it here in Sydney, and which has all the electronics shops here.
Yeah.
So, Yeah. And anyway, this is in Iran. Can we actually even get Google Street View in Iran?
Yeah.
I'm doubting it.
I don't know.
I'm doubting it.
But another thing you guys were talking about that was very well timed. It was like my choice this morning when I was walking was either listening to the Amp Hour, which I obviously chose to do, or listen to the book I've been listening to, which you guys also mentioned, which was Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman. I actually just started re-listening to that.
Right.
And if people have never listened to it, it is just like such a bit of mischief, you know, like it's just like he's such a goofball and like a mischievous rule breaker, and it's just a lot of fun to read. It's also kind of like an interesting writing style because it's very plain in a lot of ways, even though it made me, you know, it makes me laugh and whatever. It's just like, oh, and this thing happened, and you know, I went on a date with this girl, and you know that then we went to a cafeteria, and it's just like very like stream of consciousness, kind of like you could tell it's a nerd writing it, and yet it's like really smart nerd, you know. It's just like I don't know, it's a very I'm enjoying it a lot, so highly recommend that. Click the Audible link we'll have. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Our sponsor for today's show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Cool.
But classic book.
Anyway, yes, we're talking about electronic stores, but you don't have this background because you don't come from a hobby electronics background. You got interested in electronics at university. So
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although I do live around, I lived around some of the few remaining U.S. based stores, hobby stores, which was Micro Center. They're pretty much the only ones left, as far as I know.
So, got it.
Yeah.
And the surplus stores like Apex and stuff like that, which I visited, which is absolutely fantastic.
Apex is still around. I'm not HSC. A lot of the Silicon Valley ones have closed down.
Yeah,
so
I think there's very few left.
Those are gone now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah, but whereas you go into Apex, it's not an electronics store; it's a junk store.
No, it's a junk store. Yeah,
totally. It's pure junk. It's just unbelievable. Yeah.
You had a video you did there?
Yeah, I've got a video that was back in 2010 or something. Yeah.
I'll link that in.
2009 even. I don't know, something like that.
Yep. Junk stores across the ages.
Yes.
Dave also goes to dumpster rooms when he's on vacation.
And you should, and because we were on holiday, you should have seen the eyes roll in the back of the head of Mrs. EEV bloggers where,
I can imagine.
Let's look at this store, it's really good. Come, and then, you could imagine her eyes rolling in the back of the head as we're going through these aisles of, very narrow kind of aisles with gigantic steel shelving with scopes going up to the roof, like
everything looking like it's going to topple onto you.
It's just I don't think she could get out of there quick enough. Anyway, it was fun.
Well, speaking of things that were bill of sale and interesting buying opportunities, Tempo Automation is going public, and you can soon buy their public stock. This has been an interesting development. Tempo Automation, yes. So Tempo Automation is a assembler or assembly house. They're like a digitally enhanced assembly house,
What's a digitally enhanced assembly house?
Well, we've had people on here in the past, like Circuit Hub's like an example of that. Macrofab's an example of that. Like basically kind of
online.
It's not just you don't just email in your Gerbers.
Right, you don't email the Gerber. It's all integrated on the website, and it's all
Although, so I tried using Tempo a couple months ago, I suppose, and it was really slow, and it was basically like having a zip file upload. I thought they had developed like this fast process, and maybe it's all on the back end, but at the time I was very unimpressed. It took them like 3 days to get back to me for seemingly a very quick, they're supposed to be super quick turn in the Bay Area. They're actually in San Francisco, which is interesting in its own right. And they're supposed to be this like super fast turn thing, and it took them 3 days to get back to me. So
I'm looking at their website, and it's just upload your design files to our secure cloud portal. Step 2, bomb audit. Step 3, quote. Step 4, DFM. Step 5, tracking. To try it now. It sounds like just a regular assembly house with but it shows you but a lot of assembly houses do this these days. They've been doing it for a decade. I mean,
they've been doing it for a long time, right? Yeah,
show you where your board is in the process.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
But it's nothing like
Well, and I'm remembering it from like what it started out as, and I'm sure it's transitioned. So like it started out as like this very utopian sounding, like, oh, we're going to have machine vision and lots of robotics and all this other stuff. And I'm sure economics drove it to the point where it's like, oh, no, we're just going to do a lot of fast boards at high margin because it's, because Google is up the street and
practicality hits you in the head.
Yeah, exactly. But the news is not that. The news is that they also bought Advanced Circuits, who is another quick turn board house in the US. Very expensive boards from my experience. Very expensive. So they bought them. Wiz, I don't know who Wiz is. Some other
but when you
house.
say very expensive, what are you talking about? Because I'm going to give you a when I was a boy.
I'm going to give, so 2-layer board, 2-day turn. I think it was black solder mask, black matte solder mask, and it was for like 200 boards, maybe 300, 400 boards. I don't remember how many boards. It was like $8,000. Like the per board cost for 2-layer board was astronomical. It was like $8 a board because it was all quick turn.
Oh yes, if you want that sort of volume quick turn, yes, you're going to pay for it because they're going to put through full panels on your behalf.
That's right, yeah. And it was quick turn off, and they weren't small boards either, and it was quick turn off color as well, right? So it wasn't just standard solder mask. It was black matte, so it was like custom, and but that's expensive. I mean, I expect a 2-layer, black board to be cheap, but it was just my expectation.
Right.
But every time I've gotten other stuff, equivalent stuff quoted, it's pretty expensive. So
right, okay. Anyway, so they bought them, right? And who else do they do?
Who do?
Oh, sorry. So they bought Advanced Circuits.
They bought Advanced Circuits and Wiz Systems, which sounds like a urination assistant.
Yeah. I won't tell you what it sounds like.
And at the end of all this is this thing called a SPAC. And you had never heard of what a SPAC was, but I have heard about it because I enjoy listening to the Prof G show, the Scott Galloway podcast, and he talks about these things all the time. It is a special purpose acquisition company. And so what happens is these companies basically raise money with the idea that, hey, we're gonna basically get acquired at some point. And literally there is no knowledge of what they're going to actually do because they can't say it beforehand. So like they raise all this money. There's no like knowledge of what they're going to buy. And then they go and basically merge with a company that wants to go public, but doesn't want to deal with going public. And so basically people have already bought into these things. Then they go and merge, and the already public company that is the SPAC merges with the company in question, which in this case is Tempo Automation. And then usually they take over the branding and all that other stuff. And now Tempo Automation is a public company. Is a public company that is basically an assembly house, now 2 assembly houses, and a PCB assembler or PCB manufacturer. Would you like to guess how much they're worth, Dave?
Well, now, given that we're talking to no one now, because everyone's just like tuned out.
Yeah, snooze. Someone's listening because they're like, oh, money. I like money.
I'm going to guess it's close to like it's $500 million or $1 billion or something.
$920 million estimated post-transaction equity based on current assumptions. That is
based on current assumptions.
Bananas.
It's just for an assembly house. Someone's got too much money.
For an assembly house.
Someone's got too much money.
Oh no, the world's got too much money right now.
Yeah, the world's got too much money. Yeah, no, it's not just one person. There's
And so what's interesting about this too is that basically the SPAC company bankrolled buying Advanced Circuits, and they also I think they bankrolled buying these other 2 things. So basically they said, hey, you want to make a deal? Like, hey, buddy, you want to make a deal? Let's all get together. We'll buy out Advanced Circuits. We'll buy out Wiz, and then basically we'll become Tempo. And it's just like, oh my God.
Nah. It's like, I know, like, there's not one person making this decision. Like, it's like funds investing in this. So it's like they just invest in multiple things, and they probably don't even know what the hell they're investing in.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is that so Tempo Automation also raised a bunch of money over time. So like they have VCs behind them. And so I'm sure the VCs are the ones that coordinate all this because they want to get their money back. They want to, they want to become a big, expensive thing. So anyways, it's very interesting that there is anyone who thinks an assembly house is worth $920 million. I haven't
maybe if it got some lucrative government contract, maybe,
but Dave, apparently once again, we are in the wrong business.
Yep, exactly. The highly lucrative podcast business.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Yeah, I think we're in the wrong business.
This is just not so.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's bonkers. I would be interested to hear, from people who are listening. I'm sure some of them have used Tempo. I'd be curious to hear how it went, what it was like, if you think they're worth it. Just generally, I haven't heard of Wiz before, so I don't know what that would be like. I've used Advanced PCB. I hope I didn't say Advanced Assembly. That's a different company. Advanced Circuits, sorry. It's for PCB.com. This is actually the first company I had ever used for DFM, because I used to use Eagle, and then someone had told me, hey, if you go to 4PCB.com, you can upload your files and they'll send you a DFM report. And so they actually had like an online processor of things.
Yep.
And I didn't have DFM apparently in Eagle. I'm not sure. But that was actually, for young Chris, that was a wonderful service. So I will say that is my favorite thing that has come out of this. So nice job acquiring 4PCB.com. That was young Chris thinks you've done a great job.
Right. Well, let's come back in 5 years' time and analyze whether or not they've completely kamikaze, or whether or not they're just,
I think that's right. Yeah.
Or whether or not they've been a raging success and they're worth more than Apple.
Maybe they merge with Apple. Who knows?
Right. Well, that's probably the play they're after, right? Is to be gobbled up by the next, right? Is the next
the next biggest fish. Yeah.
The trick is getting off the merry-go-round before it breaks down. Yeah.
Yep. Good luck to all involved. I hope you made a lot of money.
We have no idea
start
how
more
all
electronics
that
companies.
Stuff works.
Yeah.
Oh boy, haven't got that much money to piss away, I'm afraid.
Well, if you did, you could piss away on a $12 million on a hardware design tool in the browser.
Yeah. Here's another, why? I mean, how many of them are there? Could you even count them on two hands? How many online PCB type, tools there are?
Yeah, I don't know, but they.
But this is not just actually, I don't even think it's a PCB tool. I think it's a design collaborative tool. It only seems to have schematic. Although no, they did show a screenshot of PCB. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, but
I mean, I'm sure it's fine.
Yet another. It's their own thing, right? It's not based on a KeyCAD backend or anything. It's just their own.
Nope. They started fresh. It looks
somebody's written their own online tool and. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so we've had Upverter on the show many, many years ago. They have since been acquired by Altium.
Yep.
I think maybe one or two of them are still there.
I haven't been there in a couple of years. Does it still work as Upverter? Yes, it
seems like it's still online. So, yeah.
It's online? Yeah. Okay. Right.
There may be people using it. I don't know.
Well, there were when they bought it. I wonder if they're still using them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
it looks like it's a little bit more of like a marketplace kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't know.
So maybe it's
education. Let's see if there's much happening on the forum. The forum's always a tell. 3 replies, I think that is 600 views, March 2. There's a few people pottering around on there, but not much.
Yeah, I think that actually is it's a decent measure of, and it's like if you just see the people that are supporting it, then, maybe it's just there's not much community there. That happens.
Right.
But yeah.
Anyway, I've watched their wanky promo video and it's
I did as well. It was very nicely made.
It's beautifully produced and shot with their probably they got in some, company with a $15,000 Blackmagic camera and they, cinemagraphically shot it and, with their prime lenses and their wank.
Yep.
And all the fancy animation and basically all it plugs. And this is why I thought it didn't have a PCB tool is because they didn't show the PCB tool in there. They just showed the schematic and how you drop modules in and they magically do this and you can probe points and then it can show waveforms and then it's a collaborative tool. That seemed to be their main thing is that you don't design... You're not a lone design engineer in the dungeon designing a board. Sorry, but yes, you are. That's how how it almost always happens.
What if we want to be?
Exactly. It's like then Flux is not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
I mean, for some,
this collaborative is as if you're going to have 10 people working on your schematic all at once. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I remember seeing that with the, there was a bunch of like community-based projects when people were doing a lot of the ventilator projects. Like people were like looking to get involved or whatever, and it is so tough. Like all it takes is one bozo to be like, but what about that? Like it's like Dave being like, well, you should really put reference designators on all your your components, and I'm like, Dave, come on, just stay in your lane, Dave. So maybe this online tool could like just auto put all the reference designators or something. I mean, here's the thing. I feel bad for this is a tough thing to bootstrap. Say this was legit kind of thing, like it was the most legit thing out there. It is tough to bootstrap from nothing, especially in hardware, because you got grumpy old bastards like us being like, never.
Yeah, I've used Altium for 30 years.
Yeah, right. So maybe give it a try. I don't know, but I will not be using it. Obviously, I'm in a very different camp.
No, I am. No, I'm not going to use it. No, it's just.
I was referred to on Hacker News the other day as having drank the KeyCAD Kool-Aid. To which I respond, "That is correct, sir."
No, look, when I was working at Altium, right, they got the brilliant idea for online collaboration, right? This exact thing, right? This was back in 2009, maybe 2008, probably, something like that. Anyway, and I just said, no, nobody wants this. Like, so few people want this. Why are we putting priority on this? And it's, just try it out. And they sort of forced us as the hardware design team to like try it out. And it's going, no, this is bullshit. No, this is just dumb. This is absolute waste of time.
Yeah.
Even for, like forcing us to use this thing. It just, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Even the most advanced designs come down to typically one person. Right? One person's doing the schematic. Maybe a different person's doing the PCB, right? Maybe you'll have a couple of hardware designers doing different aspects of the schematic in larger, parts, larger design teams. Like if it's like huge boards and stuff, like a massive boards. But no, you would typically have just, one person in charge of that. And it's like, you can have multiple design engineers, but they don't need access to the tool. You can just sit in a meeting, give them the schematic as a PDF and, check it over for me, right? And then it feeds back and there's one central person who makes all the changes. And, it's one thing to get design. I can see why they're doing it. And there is some advantage here, right? I'll play dealt, right? There is some advantage in that, then like somebody can get into the tool, another design engineer can get into the tool and then, use the PCB tool and then, I don't know, put a circle around something saying, what is this? This is a bad layout. Fix this, please. Right? Or something like, so they can leave notes and stuff like that. But you don't need a fancy online.
I mean, you could do that in a PDF.
You can do that in PDF.
Not to be that guy, but
I know. It's like,
you can do that with a 555, man.
It's just, nah. No, it's and that's like and that is almost the sole focus of their software. It feels like when you watch that promo, it's like you're like this is the solution because you don't design alone. Therefore, you need this. And it's like, no, we don't. No, I'm sorry.
Well, so this was a conversation that came up a bunch on. So I had Zach Friedman. We did the combo show where he was on here. I recorded with him and I posted them both on the Contextual Electronics podcast in here. And so one thing Zach talked about is like engineers are fundamentally working alone. And boy, oh boy, did people on the internet not like that. And I have to say, I'm still in Zach's camp. Like I agree that like people are collaborating. There is no doubt that you need to be able to collaborate. You need to be able to meet with people. You need to be able to make decisions. You need to like push and pull and all that kind of stuff. But Zach's point, as far as I understood it, and I think like he clarified online, is that like at the end of the day, like the hard yards, like the calculations are like you're saying, you're in a dark basement. You're just trying to get stuff done at 2 a.m, and it's just like that doesn't have to be the only experience. But I think personally that is part of the experience. And
yes,
and I think that like having resources, I think maybe the unstated piece or the piece that I will add after that, the unstated piece is like learning to get comfortable in that discomfort is a very valuable skill, like trying lots of things, the things I've talked about in the past with like Ben Krasnow and like just having rigorous methods and stuff like that. Like those are the things that are going to help you as an engineer, I believe. And that's because
Right.
you are fundamentally alone, but it doesn't stop you from working in a project. I just feel like in the, like this kind of scenario where this is a collaborative tool, there of course is a place for that, but like, are you willing to give up everything else because of that? And that's personally, I'm not.
No,
because I've seen the other things.
The market for this is so small. They don't realize how small the market is for this.
And that's what startups are for, right? I mean, figuring out how big the market is. Hopefully they, if they take a big shot, they might be, I mean, like they might find some untapped market there that we don't know about. But
sure. Fine.
I agree with your assessment.
But,
that is a small market, and it's a fragmented market, and it's a really tough market. Like we've, how many episodes have we done talking about different CAD tools? And it's just like,
it's crazy.
Nobody's changed their mind yet.
No, I'll say this. The most productive engineers are the ones that work alone, are the ones that have the mentality, just leave me the F alone, go away, I'm going to do this, right?
Interesting.
Right? I know.
I'm not sure
I
if I agree with
guarantee
that.
the most productive ones are the type that have to be left alone. You can't butt in on them.
Okay, so you mean like unbroken work? Yeah, I get what you mean.
No,
like,
it's not.
I think
just
people
that.
extend that to
that they don't like working with others as well.
Yeah, but at some point, your stuff is going to be out in the world somewhere or working internal. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you don't want. Sure, you have to go to your design review meeting, right? That's part of the pain of engineering.
I think
but
that's
it's
what,
like, and
that's
you get your feedback. But once you get your feedback, it's like, leave me the hell alone. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And
right. I think that's where people get tripped up. Is like they think that there's no people involved at all, and it's like I am an island. It's like no. There are people involved, but there's like these there's like these chunks of feedback. They're like these. It's like a long, whereas maybe software can do like immediate feedback and like have someone sit there coding with you and all the other stuff. Yeah. If Dave was over my shoulder telling me where to route a wire, I would just punch him in the nose, like, and vice versa, right? I mean, like, it's not like me versus Dave or anyone else, right?
I will tell you where the collaborative design work is done. It's done at the product level. Okay, it's done at how the user interface works, how what knobs, the shape of the case, the physical design of it, how it all works, how it's powered, the battery powered. Okay,
and how firmware interacts with the pins and stuff.
Yeah,
as well,
and,
right?
and everything,
sensors.
right? But once you've done that, you give it to the hardware designer to then design that based on that spec, and then you leave them the hell alone. Give them that. Here it all is. Make it work. And then you're not going down. There's not a team of 12 engineers, getting into the design tool going, oh, no, we need an extra bypass capacitor in there. And we need let's use this different pin on the micro and stuff like that. It's no.
And if you do, you can do that at a design review meeting as well, right?
You can do it at a design review meeting to pick stuff up. Yeah, it's not done at the tool level. It's just no.
I do wonder if this is a mapping of like, so, there's a lot more people with software backgrounds. I looked at the background of some of the people that are developing this. They're very software focused and like, and there is like this, this modular idea. It's like, I get it, but it doesn't like I think as much as I love a lot of things that from the software world that have come into the hardware world, I am in the grumpy old man, camp on this one that like, I think the smallest atomic unit in terms of workflow is a PCB, maybe a sub-circuit, if you've got a really, really complex design.
Right.
And maybe it's totally different at like a, at an Apple where they, they've got the most complex PCBs ever, but they're not using this tool either. So, yeah.
All right. Can we get off that and get back onto another tool, KeyCAD? Because warning, Will Robinson, warning. Avoid all links.
That Dave's pronouncing it wrong. Yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah. What am I pronouncing wrong? The warning Will Robinson thing.
No,
what?
KeyCAD.
Oh, did I say KeyCAD?
No. Never mind.
What?
Keep going. Sorry. Keep going. I was making a joke that it's pronounced KeyCAD, and you say KeyCAD, and I'm making a joke about you still calling it KeyCAD.
Oh, right.
So I was warning people.
Right. I thought I was
so great when you have to explain
wrong,
the joke.
No,
it's
right.
great.
KeyCAD. Anyway, there's a I don't know if it's a spat. What is it? But somebody has bought the original KeyCAD PCB. So KeyCAD, KICAD PCB.org. Apparently that's the original domain name. I don't know the history of it, but apparently now the developers are saying, no, this is not the legit site. Is it virus infected? Should I actually go there and check out what's on it?
It's very boring. It looks like a GoDaddy parked domain last I looked at it.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah,
but somebody's bought it and now they're just wanting
somebody sold it. Somebody sold it.
Okay.
So a former
sold it.
member of the project, I don't know, former member. It is someone who was very involved in the project in the old days, who registered the original link.
Who owned it effectively.
He owned it. There was no foundation. There was no, so it was very ad hoc. And, that individual also, I gave him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. He kept things going. He was one of many people that kept things going throughout the years. KeyCAD is I think the 90s. I think it started in the 90s. It's old. Yeah,
it's old. Yeah.
And so, I'll give him props for that. And I think that's where I will stop enjoying his involvement in the project. But basically, he sold the domain. He then had the gall to say that he was selling the .com as well, which he also owns, the KeyCAD-PCB.com. Okay. I was not happy about that. I did find out today on the list that he was not asked. This is all just open source drama, to be honest. But
you're right.
The main thing is KeyCAD.org is the official new home of it. So, we just all had to go update links. And that's tough when you don't have a redirect because you don't own the old domain.
Oh, okay. So this domain that got sold used to be the domain, was it?
That's right.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay. So that's where I've downloaded it before. I can't remember where I last downloaded it from.
Yeah. So about a year ago, DigiKey very graciously, they bought the KeyCAD.org domain name from a true domain squatter who was hosting malicious software.
I remember that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was about a year ago. And so they've been in the process, and they donated to the project. Really sweet move. Awesome move. So they've been in the process of moving stuff over, but it's just, it's tough. There's links everywhere on the internet. So the internet, Dave, I don't know if you know this. There's a lot of links. It's kind of like a series of tubes with links.
Right. A series of tubes. That's a political joke for those who don't.
That's right, yeah.
Those who don't. It's a US political joke.
Yeah, it's just chasing down those old links. And, there's just old, like even within the program itself, it's still linked to the old. So if you open your version of KeyCAD right now on your computer, it probably links, to the KeyCAD-PCB.
Right.
.org.
Okay.
So,
and now there's just it's gone. There isn't anything there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And so the concern is that because the KeyCAD.org owner previously, prior to DigiKey buying it, was hosting malicious software, that could happen again.
Oh, okay. That's the fear, is that it's been so they don't know who it's been sold to, and they have a fear that it might be.
I don't know.
Right. Okay.
So
interesting. Wow. Drama.
A little bit of drama, a lot more logistical headaches. But if anyone is listening and you've got a link on your site to the old place to download KeyCAD, I still have to update a bunch of my links. But if you have any old links, please go and update to KeyCAD.org. It looks way cleaner anyways. That's great. Come on.
One thing I didn't know is that all of the trademarks to KeyCAD have been given to the Linux Foundation.
Yeah, they're more involved with the Linux Foundation now. So
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that because they're a neutral arbiter, or is that?
I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure how that stuff works. I talked to Wayne and Seth and some of the guys about it. It seems like a lot of work to do all the open source, who owns trademarks, and just even setting up, 501c3s and stuff like that. So Linux Foundation helps with a lot of that stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, it's great. It's a great service, and I'm real grateful it's out there.
Right.
So hopefully all this stuff's cleaned up by version 6, and hopefully that's on the way. We'll see.
There you go. Wow. The drama.
Man, I have that on my computer. So one of my students is using it, and that's fine. We use it fine, but boy, all the shortcuts changed. It's they're normal now. So you want to copy a command, you want the copy command is actually Control C, and I'm like, this is the way to do it, but man, it's tough to switch my brain around. Remapping my brain.
What was copy in KeyCAD?
It was a mouse over and hit C.
Oh, geez.
It was very it was very
right,
janky. Yeah.
Yep. No, so they're standardized on the old Wordstar. Wordstar for those. I believe it was Wordstar. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like
that's just kind of like a Windows standard of this. I mean, not
no,
even Windows
it was,
standard.
But no, this is pre-Windows, dude. This is pre-Windows.
You're saying Wordstar before OSs started doing it?
Yes. Control C and Control V originally. My vintage computer history brain is telling me that it came from Wordstar.
Huh. What was Wordstar?
What? Wordstar was a processor. It was the word processor, dude. It was bundled with the Osborne One, for goodness sake. You know, it was worth thousands of dollars.
You're just saying words to me at this point.
Right, okay. Does CPM mean anything to you? All right.
Yeah, clicks per mille, or that's how we get paid online advertising revenue. CPM?
Control C. Here we go. No, it comes from Xerox PARC, for goodness sake. Control C is common computer command. Hang on. In command history. Where's the history? Where's the history? Larry Tesla created the concept of copy, paste, and undo from computer human while working at Xerox PARC, right?
Oh, yeah, they had that HCI lab. That's right. Yeah, the human computer interaction lab. And that's also where they did like the mouse and the pointer and just lots of things. Yeah, it's
there's the Macintosh had the Apple key and X and like C, Apple key for C and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, Wordstar Wordstar predates that, I'm sure.
Okay, Dave.
I
guess you should go write a wiki page.
I mean, it first came out in 1978. Wordstar. I actually used to use Wordstar, and way back.
So you used a word processor, is that right?
A word processor, yes.
Man, yes. I do not miss the old days.
And then WordPerfect. Yes, I remember. Yes, WordPerfect came along and just swooped up all of WordStar's market share. And then I switched to WordPerfect. And then I switched to MS Word.
Yeah. I've heard of
Microsoft Word for DOS. For DOS, none of this Windows rubbish.
Actually, that's right where Chris started in.
Oh, okay. Right. There you go.
But, I remember moving a cursor on a command line screen or on a terminal screen, basically. Yeah, it was not pleasant. It was not pleasant at all.
Anyway, yeah, I got a feeling it came from Control C, came from Wordstar. Come on, comments down below.
Okay.
I'm going to find
Everyone just links to the same article you read on the air.
Oh, boy. Anyway.
Oh, boy.
All right, there we go. Drama. Is there any other drama this week? Because this week's all just drama and buyouts and crap like that.
Any non-drama you said?
Yeah. Oh no! Is there any more we need to get out of the way? Considering that the whole episode is like
I've gotten that. I'm clear. Yeah, I'm cleared out of my system.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Oh, come on. We have to mention Circuit Hub launches a flat rate rapid prototyping service. It's a flat rate. Okay. Right. Okay. That's kind of novel, I guess, considering that we've been talking about assembly for half the bloody show. So, yep.
It's not cheap. It's about $1,500.
Oh, okay. So, five boards, $1,200 plus parts, ships in 3 days. Okay.
Oh, $1,200. Right. So, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's worth it if you're fit in their.
Oh, sure. If you got startup money, if you got all that sweet startup cash, just burn it. Burn, baby, burn.
That's right.
Burn that cash. Oh, boy. You have no idea how much we used to spend on prototype PCBs.
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
24-hour turn 8-layer jobbies.
Oh boy, how much?
8 and 10 layer. Oh, that was several $1,000s for one board.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, like $2,000 for one board. Yep. And then it wasn't the right color. Wasn't the right color black. So
No.
We had to get it respun.
Yeah, I mean, money, startup money's cheap these days. I just sent you a link for, I found this
for
link
free money. You sent me a link to free money.
Free money, basically, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Dance Church raises $4.7 million. So, like when you're seeing like dance things raising $5 million at a time, it's like, okay, there's a lot of money out there for startups. So,
dude, it's a church. That's practically a money cash cow, and it's tax free.
Well, there you go. It's a dance church, though.
Yep.
Dance is my religion.
Don't tell me about churches, dude. I'm currently right next to the mothership.
Yep. Got it. Yeah.
All right. Yep. No, come on. We have to burn up another 10 minutes, don't we? So we just drag this sucker out.
Well, we can drag it out. I'm looking around my bench at what I've been working on. Let's see. I guess we talked about that last week, the solenoid that got stuck. I cut through and got my solenoid unstuck. I think we talked about that 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yes, you had to break in to your, there's quite a few people who pointed out the irony of us talking about on last week's Amp Hour that Facebook locked themselves out. And then you proceeded a couple of days later to lock yourself out of your own security system.
Yeah, well barely a security system.
A golf clap.
A locker.
Christopher J. Gamble.
Yes. That's right.
Yes.
Let's see what else is on the old benchy bench. Well, I was surprised actually. I bought what I thought was conformal coating, and I thought I was buying silicone conformal coating. I actually bought acrylic conformal coating.
Yep.
I don't know what the difference is though. Like, I guess they're both conformal coatings, but like one is just thicker. It kind of felt like it was just like clear spray paint at that point, like acrylic spray paint.
Let me talk about it from my extensive chemical engineering background. I get the idea, dude. I don't know. Silicon is nice.
I figured you've done like acrylic versus silicone before.
Yeah, I have, but I don't. It's been so long ago. I don't recall details. And then we had mechanical engineers who sort of, took care of like the aspects of that sort of stuff. Oh yeah,
no, this is literally a can of spray paint at this point. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Buy it off the shelf. Okay, well that's a flop. How about I got the Micromod? We talked about Micromod a little bit on the show, I think.
Hang on, no, I can go back. Hang on, I can go back to that.
Okay.
Acrylic's hard, silicon is soft. Yeah, and generally, I've used the silicon re-enterable potting compounds. Right, I don't think I've ever used silicon conformal coat, like a rubber coat.
It's not like a rubber. It's like a real thin layer of silicone. Basically, it's like a silicone spray, almost like a.
Yeah, but does it harden, or does it?
It does harden. Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. Right. So it hardens. So it's not. Oh, okay.
Well, it might have some springiness to it, but
I didn't know you could get silicone spray that hardened.
Let me see if I can find a link. It was just an MG Chemicals
Right.
Yeah, waterproofing conformal.
Okay.
Coat
No,
spray.
I'm so used to being them being re-enterable potting compounds that's the only way I can think of them.
That is that's like the black goop that you have into a
not
container,
the black
sort
goop.
of thing?
No, it's actually clear. No. You can get clear goop, so you can actually see
like
the
an
board.
RTV almost.
Yeah. But the good thing is that, well, I'm not going to say all of them, but the ones I've used are re-enterable potting compounds. So what that means is that you can stick a probe through, or you can stick a screwdriver through to trim a pot,
self-healing.
And then once you pull it back out, yes, it's self-healing. It actually, it becomes waterproof again, right?
Cool.
Yeah. So it actually reseals as you pull your screwdriver or your probe back out. It's great. It's good stuff.
I've never seen that.
It's very cool.
That was your underwater days. Those are
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So very
lots of
very cool
waterproofing
stuff.
methods. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've designed stuff that had 5 or 6 trim pots, all that all interact. If you want a bad day, design a complicated temperature compensation circuit that has 5 trim pots that interact. Oof. And
like, you mean you turn one to the right and that makes you have to go and
that
turn
upsets the next one, and you've
got
to do like a successive approximation type thing to get to where you want.
Would you do that these days with a trim pot still, or would you do it with like a digital digital pot?
Everything's bloody digital these days, Yeah. Yep. But back then, that was the easiest solution. That was the best solution that we come up with. Mm-hmm. Yep. Even though we had to manufacture them in volume as well, you still had to, had these jigs with 10 boards all lined up, and you'd have to, trim them all and, but you sort of got, it's actually not as bad as it sounds. Once you get used to a technique of doing it, there's like you can do, you adjust this one first, then this one, you jump over here, then you jump back here, and you figure out like the best interactive way to do it, the most efficient way to do it. And then once you figure that out, it goes into the documentation, and the production operator just follows that, and it's okay.
Yeah, I don't miss those days either.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, just thinking about I'm thinking about the calibration stands that I saw in my days at Keithley and ABB and stuff like that, and yeah, there were very occasionally a potentiometer on there, like on the older stuff, but most of the stuff was like a DAC or something like that if you're gonna adjust it like that. But yeah, because then what happens about like a vibrational type, just jiggling?
Oh, they're usually pretty good. These are I think they're
expensive pots.
Holy term, yeah, they're expensive pots, and no, vibration wasn't really a problem on those. Yeah. So, yep, it's all good.
Okay,
I have sent you, dude, a chip of the week.
No way.
We haven't had chip of the week. When was the last time we had chip of the week?
I don't know. What do we got?
Okay,
this does not look new. Pre-trimmed.
This is no, it's not. No, I think it's 2018. Is it 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
2015. It's from
So this
that.
Is
that corporation.
This or that.
Great name. That corporation. We can't think of a name. So just call it that corporation. That's great.
What is this? Analog engine dynamic processor, I see.
I thought this would be right up your alley, dude. I thought, come on, you were in a band, right? I thought you were a muso. I thought you'd know about compressors and limiters and DSs and all that sort of jazz.
Yeah, I was not in a good band.
Right, okay. Obviously. Well, anyway, it's a chip. It's a specific audio, and it's an analog audio engine. It's a dynamic process. It's an audio dynamic processor. And it basically contains a voltage controlled amplifier, op amps, and RMS converter. And basically, there's 4 op amps in here, and there's RMS converters, voltage controlled amplifiers. And what you can do with this is that you can use them in different ways to do all sorts of analogy audio goodness. You can do a compressor, a limiter, automatic gain control, a DSS circuit, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it says wireless microphones, wireless instrument packs, in-ear monitors. Okay, so basically it's just going to make stuff sound better on a
It's going to make stuff sound different, better.
Yeah.
Why, you ask? Why you ask?
Do you care about
why
this?
You ask is Digital Dave looking at a
that is a great question.
Yeah.
Are you making a headphone amp? Is this a new project?
Not a headphone amp. I'm thinking about making a microphone, a USB microphone preamp, because for the life of me, I cannot find one that does what I want.
I sent you a tweet about this the other day. The F6.
Yes, I know, but that's not the solution. No. Sorry.
32-bit float, man. 32-bit float. Dual ADC.
No.
All right. So what do you want? What are you looking for?
That is not the solution. That is not the peaking thing, right? Oh. No, what I'm talking about is that I've been experimenting with different mics. We did this just before the show, actually. I was using a shotgun mic, and that didn't have enough bass in it and stuff like that because,
and he's all about that bass.
Right.
That bass.
Yeah,
no
because
trouble.
I've got if I go back from the microphone like this and talk louder, we're going to lose all the bass. We lose the proximity effect in the mic, right?
Yeah, but that's true regardless of the microphone.
No.
You shouldn't be fixing microphones with chips.
Yes. But using this mic, right, I'm using my 1-inch Rode NT1A, right, the world's quietest mic. It's, it's pretty schmick, right? Mm-hmm. But if I move my head away from it, you can notice and hear the variations in my voice, right? And it's annoying. So I think maybe I could help with use a compressor, for example, and then of course a limiter for peaks and stuff like that. If I actually get dynamic like this and accidentally move forward and shout into the mic, and I didn't realize
Dave
I did
an
it.
Excitable creature? I don't know, man. I don't know.
And then, so I thought I'd do that, but there's nothing. Please leave it in the comments down below, because I don't want to piss away my time doing it if there's something on the market that does it. But all I want, I'm a simple guy, right? I'm a simple video blogger. All I want is a phantom voltage mic amp, right? USB interface, of course, that has, right? So it's got the 48 volt thing, a headphone jack that turns off the speakers when you plug the bloody headphones in, as my current one does not do. Pain in the ass.
Right. Yep.
And I want something that also has a compressor and a limiter function. And I don't need multi-channel bullshit. I'm not plugging in my freaking guitar and my instruments and everything. I'm just got a microphone. And I'd love some knobs on the front to be able to make myself sound a bit better, because I've got a shitty voice, and I'd love to be able to just dick around with some knobs on the front of a bloody preamp until I sound what I think is the best. That'd be great. And it would cut down, peaks, because it's got a limiter in there and everything. I know I can do all this with separate stuff. I know.
Yeah, I was going to say,
right?
are you looking at rack mount?
Yeah,
no.
I just want a little box that sits on my desk. One box. One box that's got it all.
I know
I can do all the. I know I can do all the rack mount shit. Yeah, I know.
Underneath your monitor.
I know. But typically, yes, you'll get an audio processor, right? One new rack thing, but then you still need the separate preamp. You need everything else.
No. I used to have something like that. Remember, I used to. Oh God, a long time ago, back in the basement days.
Yeah, there probably is.
I had a 8-channel. I had bought it for my drums.
Yeah, I don't want bloody 8-channel. I want 1 channel.
I know you don't want 8. I'm just saying that what this had though, it had mic preamps for every mic. It had phantom power.
Yep.
It had 8 channels, but that doesn't matter. And it had USB interface.
Yep.
And then you could add effects internally digitally. So
yes, I know such a thing exists, but I don't want a big rack thing. I just want a little thing that just sits on my desk. I'm sure this exists.
Yeah. I'm sure you've looked, so
I can't find it.
I'm not going to go spend my time.
It might be out there, but anyway, I thought so. I'm, if it's not out there,
I think it's an interesting project, regardless. I think that's going to be a lot of work, man. That's Ooh.
Yep.
So this would be out of the mic, is that right? So you'd take a balanced signal out of a microphone,
yes,
put it into this chip, and then that would then act as your preamp.
Well, no, you've got to have a preamp circuit first. This thing isn't a preamp. Right, so this thing's got to, this is just an audio processor. Yeah. So you've got to, you've got to have the high impedance preamp input, low noise, jobby, the whole works, right? The whole shebang. Okay. And then this this would be the audio processing part, and then you'd have a Cirrus Logic USB, standard audio interface chip and stuff like that. Just works with standard. So
you're saying
Windows
you don't want to
drivers
do. You don't want to buy 3 different solutions, but you'd rather
I don't know. I don't want to buy 3 boxes. I know I can get it as one big rack mount box. I know that exists, and maybe I might just
they make rack mount things you can put on the back of your desk, vertically.
Yeah, vertically and stuff. Yeah, you can get a
pretty cool
vertical rack mount. Yeah, maybe.
You can mount it on a wall.
Yeah. Well, I do have a wall right behind me, so maybe Anyway.
I say keep going with this, though.
This
is the cool part. This is the cool part.
Yep.
So what would you need to power this with? So
this is a single supply. They also do dual supply jobbies.
Mm-hmm.
5 less than 5 nanovolts per root hertz.
Yeah.
Noise for those playing along at home.
Yeah, I would love to see, even if you don't end up building anything with this, just getting this and doing a test on the bench with this sort of thing.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just to see what different input, say, if you do a pulse input, what does that look like in terms of the output, right? With log based dynamic processing.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. So you can do all sorts so you can configure it in many different ways. Anyway, I think these little dynamic processor ICs are really cool. You can get really old school, single inline chip jobbies, and you can get, little SO8 package jobbies and stuff like that. But yeah, this one's this one does come in dip, I believe.
Cool.
It comes in dip and this newfangled SO stuff. Oh no, sorry. This particular one doesn't come in a dip. The previous version of this, which I think is now obsolete, came in a dip package. Yeah. So, yep.
Cool.
28 pin.
I like
QSOP.
it.
Yep.
I like
Chip
it.
of the week.
Chip of the week. Bring it on.
Awesome. There you go. It was first done in 2009 at least. It goes back to then. Rev 5. They're now up to Rev 8 Silicon. They keep on. Refining. Yep. Is that it?
Okay.
Our amp hour's up.
Our amp hour is up. Thanks for finding this chip. That was a fun one.
All right. Catch you next time.